All right, thanks to all of you for continuing to listen to the Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network. We appreciate you. We really do. And then we appreciate the phone calls from you, because there's some people in our audience that are about to embark on something that can be a pretty scary endeavor sometimes. And that's when you're letting go of a home, or you're trying to find that special place because maybe you just got married. Maybe you're having a baby. Maybe you're downsizing. Maybe you're upsizing. Who knows? You just went through a life event, or you're going through that right now. And that's why we've created something. It's called the Ron and Don Sit Down. In fact, we did a Ron and Don Sit Down a couple months ago with my friends Joe and Jennifer. And they said, you know what? We have this house in Seattle. It's our family home. And we would like to sell this family home. But along with selling this family home, there are a lot of memories connected to this home. This is where our kids grew up. This is where we've celebrated 20 Christmases. This is where we have dealt with the fact that we have had loved ones and family members pass away. This is where we had Thanksgivings. This is where we celebrated birthdays. This is where we watch our little kids grow into teenagers, and now they're off to college. And we don't need a home this big anymore. But it's going to be really hard to let go of this home, because it's not just a house. It's been a home to us. And so we sat down, and we just figured out a way. And there were tears shed. There were lots of tears that were shed. But we figured out a way to finally let go of that house. And then we embarked on another journey to find another house and to find another home. And a couple months later, that's exactly what we did. So,
but I think the thing you're saying that I really like, that we're crystallizing, is it begins with this Ron and Don sit down, where you actually learn the story, you listen to the story, and sometimes the story that you hear on page one is not the actual story. Like, it takes a second to understand that sometimes people are very transactional, and it can just be a house that needs to be sold. But sometimes there's all of that other stuff that is a part of that. And if you don't unpack that correctly, and if you don't pay homage to it in a sense and give it its own space to breathe and to sort of live for a moment, then it really doesn't matter what happens in a dollars and cents stuff over here, because it's a hollow shell. You have to acknowledge and pay respect to the process that got you to that sit down.
Yeah. I just sat down with my friend Mary, and I said, Mary, I don't think you're ready to sell this house. I think you should stay in this house until you're ready to sell the house. And I said, I know I'm not being a great realtor right now, but let me be a great friend. You're not ready to sell this house. So let's sit down again in the new year. Let's gather a lot of information about this house. Let's see what your house is worth. Let's see what's happening in the neighborhood. Let's look at other houses and other places where you think you might like to live. But you are not ready to stick a yard sign in your front yard yet. You just aren't. And maybe you will in 2020. Maybe you will in 2021. Maybe you're going to hang on to this and not even live here, and this will become a great rental property for you. So we had that discussion. Peter called us the other day, Ron and Don Nation listener, and said, guys, I want to have a sit down. And so we met at our offices at Windermere. And let's not say the neighborhood or Peter's last name, but we had a really great conversation with Peter in our sit down with him, didn't we?
Yeah, he's got a property, and similar to what you've said, a life inflection point is upon him, and he's trying to make a great decision. I think most people are smarter than at first glance. Maybe that's the wrong way to say that. People are smart. They realize many times when they're at that inflection point, and they want to make a good decision. And so they want it's valuable to sit down with us and to go through it and say, here's how I see it. Here's how I see your options. And some of the stuff resonated with him, not everything, but a lot of the stuff resonated with him. And I'm excited to move forward with Peter and to get him a great result. But we still have to identify, what is the thing? what is the thing? Because he has multiple properties, multiple options, multiple things moving in his life, and it's like, what is your move that ticks the boxes? What is that thing?
Yeah, we're on a fact-finding mission with him right now, and then we'll make some decisions, and he'll make some decisions down the road, and it's exciting to be a part of that. It's really just exciting to be a part of that. So, Peter, thank you. Joe and Jennifer, thank you. The Patties of the world, thank you. Scott, Mary, Carrie, Ron, all the people that have sat down with us and allowed us to be a part of one of their biggest transactions. And sometimes the transaction is to not do anything. It's to hold fast. It's to gather information. It's to figure out what the next step is. And it's also to not get pushed around. And sometimes people in this business that call themselves realtors and agents, they piss me off because they come in and they push and they push and they push, and then they get their check and then they walk away. And that's not how it works at Windermere Midtown. That's not how Patrick Chin and Tamara Marson work. They don't allow that. We come at you 97 agents strong, selling over $100 million in real estate in the Seattle area a month. And one of the reasons we do that is because they are the very best agents that have been in these neighborhoods 20, 25, 30 years. And they have incredible reputations because they serve people so well. They serve their community so well. And at the end of it, they get a well-deserved paycheck. And they should. Anyway, if you have a transaction coming up, if you have some questions, if you just want to figure out what a property is worth, or you just want to sit down with us and talk, Ron's a pretty good talker. I'm a pretty good listener. Reach out to us. It's ron@windermere.com, Don O'Neill @windermere.com. Everything is at ronanddon.com. You can also reach out to us on our personal Facebook pages. That's Don O'Neill and Ron Upshaw. And just like we did with Peter last week, we could sit down and we could do a Ron and Don sit down with you. And we would love it. And we'll even have Ron make the coffee. All right? It's the Ron and Don Show, episode number 21. Thank you for stopping by and supporting us. And every time we see you, I tell you what, every time we see you, we are blown away by the love that you have for us and still our connection that we have here in the community. So thank you for that. Keep your head up and your shoulders back. We'll see you here next week on Wednesday for episode number 22. It's the Ron and Don Show, only on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Ron and Don. Ron and Don. Ron and Don. Ron and Don. On the Ron and Don Radio Network, man.
Okay, how much do I have to pay you for this?
$1.